Welcome back to the third video of this series. In today's video we are going to use React Router v6 to help us with routing in our website.
Let's go!
Before we move ahead with the setup of our routes, I want to show you the docs for this library because it helps a lot to see examples of how to use it in the first place. And these docs do a very good job at doing that. In this tutorial page, I'm going to head over to the Adding a Router section first. And here it shows us an example of how we are supposed to use the router provider component in our React app to enable the routes we have specified for our router. As we scroll down, it's saying here that this route over here serves as the route layout for the pages of our website. This demo screenshot here shows an example of a route layout component being used to display a sidebar for the pages that inherit this layout. Finally, when we head over to the nested routes section, it shows how we can nest our routes under our route which can be seen here. This outlet component is important for rendering the element from our routes, which is really similar to how when we render the children prop in our React components. I will revisit this page once again to cover the section below, but I want us to focus back on the project for now. Let's install the React Router DOM package to use this library. Great. We can now begin to start adding routing to our website. First, let's head over to the main.jsx file and follow the example we saw earlier, which I will just copy and paste here, but replace the element for this route with our app component. If we run npm dev again in our terminal, we should expect everything to be working as before, which would be good news for the most part. And it is. I'm going to now create a route.jsx file like we also saw in the docs, which will be used as a layout component for our pages. I will create this under a folder named routes, where I will also store my other routes very soon. This layout component is going to be really simple, as all I'm going to do is render an app and outlet component. I'm going to leave out the footer component we created earlier before because this layout is only concerned with things outside of the main content of the page. If we head over to the main.jsx file and replace the app component with the route component we just created, it should display only the nav. Shoot! The hamburger menu icon is barely visible, but it's working as expected, so that's great. Now we've got our routes and layout set up, let's now add the nested routes for the route. Again, I'm going to create another route, but this time I'm going to use the existing app component and refactor it to an element for our /home route, which we'll add shortly along with the rest of our other routes. Okay, that's done. So I'm going to copy some of this markup from this app component and use it in our other route components as basic markup for us to later work with. All we have left to do is let React Router know what paths we want to define for our routes and the elements we want to render. Finally, we just head back to our nav component and replace the links we have with the link component from React Router. On the docs, it shows how we are supposed to use this component, where we use a to property to define a relative path to our route. You can check out this link here to find more about how to use this component. No pun intended.
We don't do that here.
When I click on the different nav links, it should redirect me to the different pages like so. Personally, I don't like how the nav menu stays open after we are redirected. So I'll use a Boolean property called reload document, which will enable us to skip client-side routing and let the browser instead handle it. Bonito. That wraps the end of this video. I hope you come again for the last two videos of this series, because there are some more useful features about Tailwind CSS which doesn't get covered often, and we'll be looking at that when we add the remaining two pages for this project. Till then, take care.